Let's dive into one of South Africa's most pressing and persistent challenges, load shedding. During his 2025 State of the Nation address, President Cyril Ramaphosa claimed that the measures implemented under the Energy Action Plan had led to over 300 consecutive days without load shedding, a significant milestone in the country's energy crisis. However, the recent return of Stage 3 load shedding after this hiatus has reignited concerns among South Africans, with skeptics doubting whether load shedding can truly become a thing of the past. Now, to help us analyse the President's claims and the progress made, we're joined by Professor Sampson Mamphweli, Head of Secretariat of SANEDI and an expert on South Africa's energy transition. Prof, always good to speak to you. Now, they of little faith, I suppose, is a statement that comes to mind for you, because you'd be well pleased with the 10 months of no load shedding.
That's correct. So we were counting towards, 365 days, and then we had those few hours of load shedding. We did not expect that we would have load shedding between now and the 31st of March 2025, because that is the outlook that we have from Eskom. However, one must emphasize the fact that the Energy Action Plan that the President talked about has proven to be working, because when he started implementing the Energy Action Plan and bringing in the Minister of Energy and Electricity, we were at a very difficult situation. We were hovering between Stage 4 and Stage 6 load shedding. And through the implementation of the Energy Action Plan, for which Eskom generated the Operations Generation Recovery Plan in response to the Energy Action Plan, and government giving Eskom that 256 billion to service their debt so that they can free up some money to fix the coal fleet. That whole exercise worked wonders, and we saw the improvements from about 50% energy availability factor on the coal fleet side to about 60%. So there was a plus or minus 10% improvement in the energy availability factor. And obviously, there are other factors that kicked in, like your small-scale and embedded generation, rooftop solar PV, ground-mounted solar PV, that was associated with the implementation of the Energy Action Plan. So the picture looks very, very good, irrespective of the fact that we had those 24 hours of load shedding.
Now, how might the new Electricity Regulation Amendment Act transform South Africa's energy sector, Professor?
So that act, which the President also talked about, is going to lead to huge transformation in the electricity sector. It's going to open up the electricity market, which basically means that there will be a huge role that the private sector will play in the provision of electricity services in the country, and that will introduce competition. And that kind of competition will also assist in terms of lowering the cost of electricity. As you know, Hugo, most people are now focusing on the cost of electricity, which is going high. Recently, Eskom got that 12-point-something% increase from NERSA. And those are some of the issues that the regulations, the amendment to the regulations, were meant to deal with. The other thing is that the President mentioned in his State of the Nation address is the infrastructure backlog and the plan around, for instance, the transmission grid, the 14,000 kilometers of lines that we need to bring on board. So that needs to be fast-tracked, because we need that to evacuate all the power that we envisage that will be coming in the next 2 to 3 years. And the President mentioned for the first time that the private sector will be involved in the construction of the 14,000 kilometers of line, and also in the financing part of things. I'm waiting eagerly to hear the details of that kind of involvement from the minister when he comes in to do the debate of the State of the Nation address.
Now, Prof, we must talk about the implications, the extent that aging infrastructure and maintenance challenges continue to affect Eskom's reliability. Now, the fact that you felt, or Eskom felt 65 days short, was based purely on that aging infrastructure that went offline. How critical is it to deal with this challenge?
Yeah, that is very, very critical. I'm part of the President's Energy Crisis Committee, Workstream 7, that deals with data modeling and data repository and things like that. And part of what we discussed when we started with NICOM was the issue of the aging infrastructure. And I still remember one of the things that I said was that we need to focus more on the coal fleet that can give us longevity, fix that, and ensure that it works optimally. And that's exactly what Eskom has done. If you look at the fixing of Medupi and Kusile, the design flaws, the environmental aspects that they had to deal with. So that's on the positive side of things. However, we still have the aging coal fleet that is still giving us problems. So Eskom continues to maintain the aged coal fleet because as things stand, that's what we have. The president mentioned in his State of the Nation address that we are going to go into a transition where we will move at a scale and pace that is affordable to the country. And that's quite an important statement because the president has got a view that we need to protect the economy, which is quite critical. If we just decommission everything without looking at the scale and the pace and the affordability of the country, we plunge the entire economy into darkness. With that, we lose jobs in the economy, which we cannot afford as things stand. However, the ESCOM has got the decommissioning plan. We've got the Just Energy Transition frameworks. We've got funding that is coming to deal with just energy transition, which will assist us as we bring in new generation capacity. We will then be gradually decommissioning the old fleet. The good thing is that Eskom has now focused a lot more on the new fleet. I mean, the new fleet is operating at above 70% energy availability factor, which is quite positive, by the way.
Professor Sampson Mamphweli, head of Secretariat at SANEDI and expert on energy issues, allaying all fears, certainly for most South Africans, that Eskom does have things under control. Appreciate your time this afternoon.